Whenever you're ready.
Okay, I thought you were going to ask
Okay. And what center are you from?
Hilltop Child Development Center.
And what age group do you work with?
I work with 3.5 to 5.
And can you tell me just how you felt before you started this project, during it, and now that you've totally completed it?
Well, when I first started, I was like, here we go again, another class that's not going to work. They're going to give us these ideas that's not going to work with our children by it being, generally the African American classrooms. But when I first began, I was like, these kids are just here to drive me nuts. But as we went on and the classes started and we started coming, I started to realize that sometimes these kids do have valid emotions and valid feelings, and they do, want to express them, but they just don't know how. They only know one way, which is, normally the violent way, or, not being able to verbalize how it is that they're feeling. But since my coworker and I have been going through this, we realized that there's ways to help each and every one of them in the classroom. And since we've been through this program, our classroom, the atmosphere and everything has totally changed. It's like the last visit we just had from Becky, she was like, is this the same class? Because there was nobody fighting, there was nobody crying, there was nobody, just all over the place. It was just they were all just working along together. Whatever they were doing, everybody was working together. Nobody was, normally when she first comes in the room, everybody runs to Becky, but now everybody's like, good morning, Becky, and they're, still involved in whatever activity they were in. So they've come a long way, and so have we. So have I. I've learned quite a bit that this kid is not just here to drive me nuts. He's here for me to help him. And that's what I've really gotten out of class, and not to be afraid to use it. Because when we first started, I was like, I'm not taking this back because I don't want anybody laughing at me, trying to do this and do that. And now that I see that it works for them, which is what it's for, I'm not really concerned about what the other classrooms are thinking. I'm just implementing it and using what works. And what doesn't work, we try it with a different group, the next group. It may not work with this group, but we try it again with the new group, and it works for different, as the ages come in. And now that we've learned, if we start off from the beginning, when they get ready to leave, we've already started putting into, ideas of what we're going to do with the next group as they come in, so that we start from the beginning, and it's smooth the rest, so we don't just be, not knowing what to do. So now that we have the tools to do with the kids that are coming in, we've already planned what our next class group what our program's going to be, as far as the social emotional part of it.
Now, you talked a lot about tools that you've used and things that you've learned. What is the one thing, if you had to pick out a tool that you've never used that really made an impact, that you would tell this teacher, you know what, this part of the training is something that you need to look for?
We had two. We had the fidget toy, because we had a young guy we have a reader that comes in every week, and he was just all over the place. We had a shelf. He would take everything off of the shelf and be surrounded, playing with everything on the shelf. But we got introduced to the fidget toy, and we went and picked something out for him, just for him, to use when he's sitting on that carpet, and it was just the best thing ever. The whole class was interested when they first got it, but when they realized what it was for, it was just for Kanye. And he had gotten to the point where he would just, whenever it was time for the reader to come in, go get it off the shelf, and he would sit and wait, with that toy in his hand. And now he doesn't even have to use it. It's in our closet now. He doesn't need it anymore. He sits on the carpet, legs folded, hands in his lap, and it's just a great thing. And that was the best. We really loved that fidget toy. And the other one is the emotional chart. Sometimes during the day, we have the little pictures on the wall, and we have their little pictures lying down. So at any time during the day, if they're mad and they go and change it, and they'll come and say, well, I changed my picture to mad because so-and-so did so-and-so, and I didn't like that, and that made me mad. So they've learned how to just, deal with it, instead of just sitting in the corner and just being mad and shutting down. They're talking to each other more. They're dealing with it amongst themselves more, and we like those. Those are the two best things that we got out of this group. But that fidget toy just really worked, and it works for us too, because we have to use it when we're in meetings or whatever.
So you've even implemented using things.
Yes. When we have our workshop trainings downstairs, I take it down.
How did you introduce it though, and make sure that other kids weren't jealous, or why are you doing just one thing for one
When we first
child?
introduced it to him, the whole class came over, and we was like, well, this is for Kanye because, you know, sometimes he has a little trouble sitting still, you know, and we want him to be comfortable and get the best out of the reading experience that everybody else does, you know, and we let everybody in the group have a turn playing with it and fidgeting and whatever with it, and we explained to Kanye, okay, it's for you to hold in your lap. If you toss it up or if you throw it across the room, we're going to take it, you know, and we had to go through that a few times where, okay, give it to me, you know, and he would sit with it for a few minutes, and then he'd start, and I need it back again, and then eventually he learned that, okay, it's just, you know, for him, you know, and, you know, the kids every now and then wanted to see it, you know, and it was okay, he would let them see it, you know, but he'd ask for it back. But, you know, everybody had a turn because it was something new, and everybody got a turn to fidget and touch it. But then after a while, maybe about a week or two later, you know, it was just, that's for Kanye. You know, and he knew that it was just for him specifically whenever he needed. He had gotten to a point where he, you know, if he was wanted to take something off the shelf, if he wanted something to fidget with, he would go and get it. He would go and get it.
It's been a year long. Did it seem like a year?
Actually, no. No. And I think that's because we were enjoying it so much. It didn't seem like it was forever. You know, for me, it went so fast. That's why Tasha and I signed up for the second round, because we feel like, oh, that was, you know, kind of fast. Let's see what else we can get out of it. And we signed up like first off to do it again. So it didn't seem like it was a forever process. You know, even though it seemed like in the room it wasn't working, but in actuality it was. It was just taking us longer to realize that we were getting quite a bit of information and using it in the classroom, which we have now. We have a lot of stuff that we're using in the class now.
And that you can continue to use also.
The I love you rituals was the hardest thing because, you know, we're doing the touchy and the hugging. And, you know, they kind of, with our boys anyway, they're not too good with the give me a hug or let me rub and let's talk. But the girls are coming along. That's what we're working on now. I didn't quite know how to incorporate it into the classroom. Becky's helping me with that now.
Great. You have anything else that you'd like to include to tell any teachers?
Just give it time. Give it time and keep at it. Don't give up. Don't give up. Just keep at it, because it works wonders. It really does. You know, when you don't know what to do, and when you finally get somebody that's really that really wants to help you and help you get the best out of your program, this is it. This is it. And I encourage anybody and everybody that's having problems with the kids in their classroom to take this class. I really do.
Great.
I really do.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for allowing me to do it.